Let us begin this afternoon with Professor Apollinario's presentation.
Thank you so much, Ina. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming, my LS152 students. I know you are required. There are only like 12 of you here, right? Okay, so like what Ma'am Ina mentioned, this paper entitled Who's Next in Line? Succession Planning Practices of Academic Libraries in the Philippines. This was originally presented at the International Academic Forum, or Live Euro 2016, at Brighton, United Kingdom last year. So my audience there was, of course, professionals. So not much students. In fact, there were teachers, there were librarians, archivists, and all. And since this paper is about the Philippines, we also presented this paper at the PLI Congress. Now, the Philippine Librarians Association Incorporated National Congress last year at Davao City. So it has a very good reception because the topic in itself is very timely. Now, and in fact, this is the rationale why we conducted this study. I did not do this alone. Of course, this paper, I have a co-author, and her name is Marian Ramos Eclevia, who is also a graduate of UP-SLIS, and she used to work at the General Reference Section of the UP Diliman Library. But now, she is working as an assistant director at the De La Salle University Learning Commons. So, nandun na siya ngayon. And I think one of her hobbies really is to write research papers. So, happy niya talaga yun, kahit nakapikit, diba? You know, ganyan. So, I'm just so lucky that she partners with me because she's also interested in the topic. Okay? So, the full text version of our paper is already ready, no? You just look for IA4 Live Euro 2016 and you search for our paper. The full paper is there already because, you know, it's a requirement. When you present in an international conference, you have to prepare the full text, no? The whole research paper. Okay, so let's begin. So this is very timely because almost all of you have been my, or will be, my library management classes students. Okay, yeah, right. Anything, yeah. Aldrin. Okay, so what are the challenges, no? Sa Pilipinas, marami na sa mga academic libraries na nagre-retire ang mga head librarians, correct? Probably you've observed that a lot of librarians are already aging. Aging probably in the range of mga 40 plus to 60. Sorry, Sir Igor, aging na yung age nyo. Pero mga 50 to 60, no? So, demographics, it's already aging, and then, you know, there's a huge generational differences because there are librarians who were born in the 1950s, 1960s, pero marami rin librarians na mga mas bata. No? Like sila mamuhay na, marami na yung mga ganyang bata. Okay? Tapos observation din to na parang walang masyado mga middle managers. Now, even in SLIS, for example, ang pinakamatanda na ng faculty nyo is Sir Igor. With all due respect. No? I'm a Greece Golfo. Who's all, like 46?
70.
46 years old. No? So, wala talaga sa amin yung mga nasa 50s and 60s. No? So, medyo bata talaga ang inyong faculty. So, this is an observation. No? Not only in the academic library, but also in other types of libraries. Okay? And then, probably you know that the professional librarians are just a few. No? Siguro close to 8,000 registered librarians lang meron tayo sa Pilipinas. Okay? But, there is a huge demand for librarians. Diba? I think I shared this in my classes. Na kung if you will consider all the higher education institutions, all the elementary schools, and elementary school libraries, high school libraries, the special libraries that we have, we need around more than 100,000 librarians. No? But then, we cannot supply the demand. Because, if we're going to follow the law, dapat lahat lang ng nagpa-practice ng librarianship ay licensed librarian. Eh, ilan lang naman tayo. Diba? So, meron talagang shortage. Philippines, it is observed, no, that there is no documented succession planning practices. Ano ba yung succession planning practices? Ito yung mga plano na kapag nag-retire na si boss, meron na agad na susunod. No? Succession planning talaga. So, kunyari, kahit na entry-level position, papataas ng pataas sa hierarchy, kahit pa paano natitrain ka na to occupy higher-level positions. So, it is observed based on, of course, Marian's observation, my observation, our conversations with other librarians, walang documented succession planning practices. Also, this is also an observation. There is a difficulty in looking for replacement when one retires or resigns. No? So, hindi ka agad madaling ma-fill up yung position. Bakit? Maaaring walang qualified, walang handa to take on the position, no? At walang mahanap. No? So, hindi ganon. No? Mahirap ma-fill up yung position kapag may nag-retire or may nag-resign. Wala rin formal succession plan. When I say formal succession plan, it's a documented succession plan. No, it's like a document telling you, okay, pag nag-retire si director, we already have option A, option B, option C to fill in the position. Okay? Wala tayong documented succession plan. Diba? Probably you observe, no, yung namatay si, sino ba? O kunyari na lang, sige, local setting. When the National Library Director died, si Attorney Santos, wala ang pumalit sa position niya agad. And up to now, wala pa rin tayong director of the National Library of the Philippines.
Si Ma'am Rhea po.
Joke lang yun kayo talaga. Ganyan lang kami mag-joke sa faculty. So, di ba, for example, in big organizations, in big organizations, pag namatay na wala si CEO, automatically the next day, there will be a new CEO occupying the position. That easy, di ba? Ibig sabihin na nun, meron silang maayos sa succession plan kasi may na-prepare na. No? Kapag nawala ito na yung susunod. Sa atin, walang ganon. No? Observation namin doon. Also, meron tayong confusion as to who will be the more qualified candidate. So, for example, in the UP Diliman Library, pag nag-retire, for example, si Sir Chito Angeles, who is the university library director, saan pa kukuha ang UP? Internal candidate, meaning sa loob, or kukuha tayo sa labas? Diba? So, wala rin naman tayong policy on that. Of course, it's just a matter of preference. Will you hire an internal candidate or an external candidate? Probably you can argue internal candidate if there is a qualified candidate. But there's no qualified candidate. Therefore, we will hire external candidate. No? So, tingnan natin mamaya. Also, no, it's an observation. Tayo kasi, parang ang naging practice lang, hinaharap lang natin yung problema kapag may vacancy na. Diba? Hindi natin siya hinaharap bago pa man mag-create yung position. So, hinaharap lang natin siya pag nag-retire na siya or nag-resign na siya. And I think, although siguro some would not agree, pero ako I think to ensure the continuity of the flow of the organization, the processes, the plans, etc., dapat talaga meron tayong succession plan. Okay? So, there. Kaya, ginawa namin itong pag-aaral na to. Yay! Medyo bias, no? Probably you will say, si Ma'am Rhea kasi is a library management teacher. Of course, may bias yun. Pero naiintindihan mo rin kasi yung rationale behind the need for a succession plan. So therefore, I believe that succession planning is important. No? And it's really about developing talents. No? Kasama dyan, kaakibat ng succession planning, ang career development. Kasama dyan ang mentoring. No? Kasama dyan ang training and staff development. It's actually a whole program preparing all your people in the organization to later on assume bigger goals. Okay? So it's a whole process. It is a systematic effort because, it's a continuous process. It's like lifelong learning. Now, in fact, in some books, it is mentioned, kunyari, meron tayong current library director ngayon, dapat meron ka ng options A, B, C sa mga tao mo kung sino yung pwedeng maging library director. If option A, for example, has been pirated, therefore you have option B. No? So, dapat yung tatlong options na yun, natitrain mo na somehow. How do you train them? Maraming paraan. Okay? Pero mamaya na natin pag-uusapan yun. So, it is also about aligning staff and leadership. Depende sa goals ng organization. And you really have to prepare your people to assume greater roles in the future. Okay. So these are the reasons why succession planning is important. This is based on literature. No? Of course, we want to retain key talent. We want to prepare individuals for future challenges para meron tayong, di ba? Para naman meron career development yung mga tao natin sa loob ng organization. And like I always say, although it's your responsibility as an individual, as an employee of the organization, to take care of your career development, diba, yung mga magagaling na organization, binibigyan nila ng pansin ang career development ng mga tao nila. Okay? Alright. So, what are the objectives of the study? Tatlo lang naman yung objectives namin. Una, we want to examine the profile of current library managers in the academic libraries in the Philippines. No? Gusto lang namin tingnan, ano na kaya yung mga position, ano na kaya yung edad ng mga library managers natin in the Philippines. Pangalawa, paano ba nag-hire? No? What are the hiring practices of academic libraries in the Philippines? Do they prefer internal candidate? Do they prefer external candidate? And lastly, do we have succession planning practices in the Philippines? No? Ano yung mga succession planning practices na yun? So, yan lang, tatlong yan. Okay? So, who are our respondents? So, library directors. So, lahat ng mga medyo may position na. No? Middle level managers, kasama na rin. Actually, yung mga first level, first tier manager, middle hanggang top. No? Tapos, academic libraries, academic librarians na. We obtained a copy of the members of PAARL, so Philippine Association of Academic and Research Libraries. So we asked permission if we can get their contact numbers. We emailed them personally. We also posted in the PAARL Facebook page. So we used our connections to disseminate the information. Okay? So medyo mabilis lang ng konti yung aming data gathering. So almost a month, 3 weeks kaming nag-data gathering. Our online survey was patterned from Rosenwald and Wendell. The study is entitled When Leaders Leave and a Case for Succession Planning by Galbraith. Okay, so the link of the online survey was sent to these people, and there were 99 respondents. Sorry. Double click. Ayan, no? So 99 respondents. Okay, so we use the usual, frequency distribution, we presented it in tables and graphs. Okay, let's go to the results. So ito yung profile ng academic library managers in the Philippines. No? Mas marami ang mga librarians na kasama sa flat organization. So when we say flat organization, less hierarchical siya. Okay? Tama? Ang galing, no? Okay. 19 lang, dapat alam niyo yan, di ba? Ang kasama sa very hierarchical, no? Very pyramid-like type of organization. And doon sa hierarchical, that I pressed this for a long time, no? Para sa hierarchical organizations, meron 23 librarians per library. Okay? Tapos, doon naman sa flat organization, merong 5 librarians per library. Okay. Now, what is the highest position? So, lumabas na ang pinakamaraming sumagot ay occupying the library director position. Next, ano yung age ng mga library managers? So, for top-level management, meaning mga director level na to, normally ang age nila, mga nasa 47 years old. Di ba bata pa? Bata pa. Tapos yung nasa second level of management, 40. Tapos third level of management, 35. Actually, iniisip nga namin dito, meron kaming thinking na matatanda na eh. So sabi namin, baka hindi sila sumagot? No? Kasi online survey, no? May ganun thinking eh. So, we are thinking na baka mamaya kaya ang mga sumagot medyo bata kasi nakikiklik lang na. So, anyway, ito yung lumabas eh. So, 80% pa lang sa inyo yung data. So, mamaya yung analysis. And then, ito wag na to yung mga age distribution. Nakita nyo na naman yan. Ano yung highest educational attainment ng mga taong sumagot, no? Master's degree. 52. Pero yung iba, meron din naman mga PhD units. At yung iba, meron na din silang mga PhD. Okay? Alright. So, ano naman ngayon yung hiring practices? So, hiring practices, do they prefer internal or external candidates? So, for management positions, no? So, yung may mga supervisory level na to. Okay? Libraries prefer to hire. Okay, the keyword there is prefer. They prefer to hire internal candidates for top management positions. Prefer. But in reality, ano yung hina-hire nila? External. No? So, ang dami yung pumapasok sa isip na, ay, ano naman kasi mga walang qualified eh. No? So, bakit nga ba walang qualified? Galing yung kasalanan yun. No? Parang galing yung iniisip namin. Dapat may qualified kung properly mentored, developed yung tao. Okay. Tinanong din namin, does your library have a written policy that offers preference to internal candidates? Kasi baka naman minsan may ganun sa mga policies, di ba? Kanya, the library like that prefers to hire internal candidates and so on and so forth. So, maraming sumagot na wala naman silang policy that prefers internal candidates. Ganun din naman sa mga external candidates. No, kaya ganyan yung lumabas kasi wala din naman silang plano. Wala talagang documented. Okay, so ito naman, for those who answered, does your library have a written policy that offers preference to internal candidates? In actuality, ibig sabihin, yung nagiging practice, ang mas hinahire ay internal candidates. For those naman who answered that, does your library have a written policy that offers preference to external candidates? In reality or actuality, internal candidates pa rin naman yung hinahire nila. Okay? Alright. When I presented this in Reply Congress, kasi mga librarians lahat yun no? Talagang lahat sila parang all ears. Tapos after the presentation, parang naglabas na sila ng sama ng loob. Talagang parang yung buong SMX, no? Function Hall 1 and 2. Nung Reply Congress, around 900 yung participants Almost 900. Pero yung nakinig sa talk namin is like 500 kasi it's a parallel session. Talagang parang kinulang kami sa oras kasi halos lahat ng librarian nagsasabi ng mga problema nila. No? Parang sabi ko, gusto sana silang tulungan. Pero parang na-validate nung study yung mga experiences nila. Okay? So anyway, bakit nga ba tayo nag-hire ng internal candidates? No? Going back, when I said this to them, yes sila na yes, that's true, no? Dapat internal candidates. So ito, you can assume na ito yung mga tao na hoping sana na makakuha ng posisyon, but then, hindi nila nakuha because there was someone more qualified. No? So, we prefer hiring internal candidates because, obviously, the transition is easier. Now, it's easier because internal employees understand the culture, diba, of the library. Naintindihan nila yung organization, pati yung mga values. But then, meron din yung disadvantages. Diba? Here, you can say, no, hiring internally is also a good way to improve employee morale. And for those who are working, this is true. When someone from your organization, from the ranks, assume a higher position, iba yung moral ng mga tao. No, parang yes, pwede naman pala. Posible naman pala na tumaas pa tayo sa organization na to. So definitely, pag may na-hire ng internal candidate, tumataas yung kanilang moral. No, sabi ko, pwede akong tumaas pa dito. No, may ganun. Also, sinasabi, no, na kapag kumuha internal candidate, you can ensure na somehow may mas loyalty and commitment. Kasi the fact that that employee stayed in that organization for medyo a long time, ibig sabihin, committed yan. No? Okay. May other side of the coin din naman. Bakit naman tayo or yung ibang libraries nag-hire ng external candidates? Unang-una, gusto natin ng fresh perspective. Diba? Now, there's a danger in hiring an internal candidate who is so used to the org culture. Diba? Sometimes, that person, yung thinking niya, very limited na lang dun sa organization. Unlike, if you hire an external candidate, medyo alam mo na marami siyang experience sa labas na pwede mong i-apply sa loob. No? So, yun yung thinking na, these people, external candidates, can offer a fresh perspective or new ideas from other libraries. So, yun yung sinasabi, new blood in the organization. Okay? Ano pa? Internal candidates may be qualified, however, isa sa mga rason, external candidates daw are more qualified. Siguro based on their experience kasi yan. Diba? Baka naman, magaling, may PhD sa ganyan. So, may experience siya sa ganyan. So, probably, baka madala niya, maganda yung ginawa niya sa library gano'n. So, baka pwede yung gawin niya dito sa library natin. So, may mga ganong thinking. Okay? Okay. So, what naman now, what are the current succession planning practices? No, succession planning practices of the academic libraries in the Philippines. Most of them answered that they do not have a written succession plan. Now, it's understandable. When you ask librarians, bakit wala kayong succession plan? Ang dami-dami na namin ginagawa, gagawin pa ba namin yan? No? Feeling nila, it's a waste of time in the sense that, you have to do other things as well in the library. But then the succession plan is a management effort. No? It's a management effort. Siguro in the library, ikaw bahala sa succession plan ng library. Pero, as an organization, dapat concerted yung effort nyo in drafting your succession plan. Okay? So, maraming walang succession plan, written succession plan. No? Nung tinanong namin, kasi yung iba sumagot ng yes eh. Baka naman din yung iba, meron silang somehow idea na meron silang succession plan. Okay? So, ano yung description ng succession planning? Maraming sumagot na yung succession plan nila is not established very well. Meaning, we don't practice established succession planning, but we have general training for all employees. So their thinking of a succession plan is a training for their employees, which is also somehow right. It's not incorrect. It's right, no? Kasi the whole succession plan is a program in itself, di ba? Sabi ko nga sa inyo. It includes career development, training and staff development, mentoring, etc. Okay? Marami din sumagot na somewhat established. Okay? We occasionally practice succession planning principles. However, we're not very consistent. No? So, yan yung mga sagot nila. Okay. Ano naman yung mga factors that affect implementation of succession planning principles? Bakit hindi nila nai-implement? Ang unang-unang sagot, yung nakakuha ng mataas na sagot, ay yung the executive team puts little emphasis on succession planning. Pag sinabing executive team, ito yung management team, like the management committee. Ito yung mga heads ng bawat departments, hindi masyadong binibigyan ng pansin. Probably, they don't see the importance of succession planning. Pwedeng ganon. Marami rin sumagot na succession planning is not a priority due to other initiatives taking precedence. Which is a usual excuse naman. Of course, we understand you're all very busy. No? So, hindi ito priority. Kasi hindi pa naman nila nararamdaman yung need eh. Wala pang nagre-retire. No? Wala pa naman nagre-resign so far. So, hindi nila ina-anticipate yun. Mataas din yung nakuha nung succession planning is not part of the library's strategic goals or plans. Exactly what we also observe. No? So, lumabas talaga siya. Okay. For those who answered yes, no, na meron silang kahit papano di practice succession planning, tinanong namin sino ba yung nagpa-participate sa succession planning. Sabi ng iba, lahat daw ng librarians, at sabi din ng karamihan, yung mga heads, no, the director, the university librarian, the chief librarian. Tinanong din namin, sino sa tingin nyo ang may primary responsibility for succession planning? And they all answered, dapat yung head ng university library or the library itself. No? Which is somehow true. But the head of the university library cannot do it alone. It's a concerted effort by the management, by the HR department, and by all your department heads. Because it's really crafting. Unang-una, dapat maayos siguro yung mga job description, no, ng bawat tao and the requirements of that job bago mo makraft yan. Ano ba yung mga goals, no? Vision, mission ng organization. Kasi ipa-plansya mo yan doon. Okay? So yun yung sagot. Okay, we also ask, how important is succession planning in your library? For those who answered that they do not have a written succession plan, they feel that it is extremely important. For those who said that they have a written policy, equally very important and extremely important. So from here, we can assume that they feel that it's important. No? Okay. How well does your library provide on-the-job leadership opportunities? On-the-job leadership opportunities, no? For example, project leadership opportunities or other assignments to provide leadership growth opportunities. For example, pinaghawak ka ng isang project, no? Ikaw muna yung OIC for a couple of weeks. Kasama yan sa mga leadership opportunities, no? Maraming nagsabi na frequently, they were provided on-the-job leadership opportunities. Marami din nagsabi na usually, binibigyan din naman kami ng training. Yung pagkakaroon lang ng officer in charge. Pag wala si head, mag-a-assign siya ng officer in charge, that's already a leadership opportunity for that person. Diba? Normally, ang nag-OIC, yun yung next in line. No, normally. No? Pero iba-iba din yan sa strategy ng head. Kasi baka naman feeling lang din ng head, i-rotate ko lang yan. Sa mga department heads, tingnan natin kung sino ang okay. But that's also a leadership opportunity. No? Giving that person project leader role, no? For some projects, it's also a leadership opportunity. Okay. Ito, since we are talking about succession planning practices, we also ask, kailan nangyayari ang succession planning in your library? So marami ang sumagot sa kanila na nangyayari lang yun kapag nag-announce na yung head na aalis ako, magre-retire or magre-resign ako. So dun lang talaga nagsistart yung process. So kaya, matagal nawawalan ng posisyon. Walang tao dun sa posisyon kasi wala nang ready to occupy the position. Okay? Okay, so these are the succession planning activities. Kasama yan sa whole succession planning program. Isa-isa, tinanong namin sila kung ginagawa nila yung mga activities sa succession planning. So for example, initiates discussions about leadership and succession planning is part of the whole succession planning program. They said that sometimes we do this. Isa pang succession planning activity, yung mag-explain ng management in the process of selecting a successor. Sabi nila, sometimes ginagawa yun. Another activity, evaluates and manages staff performance. In library management, this is job evaluation, or performance appraisal. Dapat lang talaga ginagawa nila yan always. Diba? Kasi do this annually at least. So lahat naman sila ina-evaluate. Bakit? Kasi performance evaluation, that's also your basis for promotion, diba? For training and staff development, for demotion, for firing, and so many other things. Another succession planning activity is in an inventory of its librarian skills, experience, and career interests. So dapat talaga as the head, meron ka ng inventory ng mga skills ng mga tauhan mo. Okay? Si TJ, ganito yan, no? Si Sam, ganito yan, ito ang meron yan. Si Ron, si Aldrin, si Sammy. So lahat yan. Dapat may inventory na ako. Good in project management, good in working with teams, etc. Okay? What else? Identifies potential talent and develops staff at the middle and low levels. Since you already have an inventory of the skills of all your librarians, dapat alam mo rin kung saang aspeto mo pa sila i-train. No? Hindi lang yung skills. So, probably si Greg, kailangan niya pa dito sa konsepto na to. No? Kailangan pa natin siyang i-train doon. So, hindi tinatawag yung mga sa So, kasi nakikita ko dito naman tayo. Si Maika, no? So, yan. Identifies potential talent and develops staff at the middle and low levels. Okay? Alright. So, what else? No? Other succession planning activities. Access to various opportunities to develop their leadership potential. Sabi nila, ang mentoring, they frequently do that. Di maganda. Diba? I mean, mentoring, I believe, it's also very important. No? Kahit na yung faculty-student mentoring. Diba? So, diba may faculty kayo na you look up to, pinupuntahan nyo na, pinupuntahan nyo na, kahit yung mga life lessons, diba? Gusto nyo direction sa thesis nyo, research, yan, considered as mentor din yung mga yan. No? Life coach is the new term. Okay? Life coach. Okay. So, identifies, another succession planning activity, identifies interested librarians in leadership and assess their capabilities. Makikita mo naman kasi among your librarians kung sino yung gusto pang umangat eh. Diba? Yung nagpapakabibo. Hindi sa mga projects. No? Go lang ng go. Sige, provide them opportunity. Sige, tingnan natin. Okay? So, frequently, sabi nila, ginagawa nila yun. So, alin pa doon? Strategy in place for recruiting, orienting, and developing new library managers. Most of them answered that yes, frequently they do this. Encourages librarians to work in teams to foster knowledge transfer. Sabi rin nila, frequently they do this. And evaluates its succession plan, never, kasi wala naman kasi documented. Pero meron din sumagot na sometimes we do this. Okay. Actually, hirap mag-analyze ng data ko. Yung nag-uusap kami pa, okay, ano na ang conclusion natin? Okay, so this is an interesting question that we ask. No? We just want to know if they are ready to name a person. For example, their librarian, head librarian retires. Can they name a person who can replace them? So we ask, if you had to name someone as director, or university librarian, chief librarian, head librarian immediately, could you name a person? No? At 72 of them said yes. They could name a person. So, wow! So, ibig sabihin, meron na silang identified. No? Pero pag tinanong mo, how long would it take for the library management to identify a permanent successor? Meron nagsabi, 1 day. Ha? 1 day. Alam na namin kung anong institution yan. Pero, meron ding nagsabi na 1 to 2 months. Meron ding 1 year and more. So, marami 1 to 2 months, 1 week. So, good enough. Kesa naman taon. Diba? Pero sana, if we want to make sure na may continuity talaga dun sa organization, that should be immediate. It should be immediate. Okay. So we asked them as well, how would you rate the overall succession planning of your library? Be it documented or not documented, basta sinabi niyo meron kayong succession planning practices, good lang yung karamihan na nagsabi. Okay? Meron din naman nagsabi na excellent. Pero good, fair, poor. Yeah. So, conclusion and recommendation. We saw that the library managers see the importance of succession planning in their libraries. Nakikita naman nila yung importance, no? However, while they do not have clear succession plans in place, they perceive that they have good succession planning in their libraries. Perception lang nila na medyo maayos. Hinailan lang namin itong lumabas, no? Kasi maraming nagsabi nito na succession planning is only done after the current director has announced that she is leaving or retiring soon. Marami rin nagsabi kasi na not established very well ang kanilang succession plan. And among of the succession planning activities that we identified a while ago, ang clear lang na ginagawa nila ay job evaluation. Kasi may kaakibat na niyan eh. Meron yung connection sa sweldo eh. That's how you do that annually. No? Or performance-based evaluation. So, ano yung recommendation namin? No? In fact, after our presentation in Davao, may nagtanong sa amin nun, so ma'am, paano na? What now? No? Parang gusto ko sabihin, gusto niyo po bang resolve ko yung problema niyo? Kasi parang tinatanong niya ako, what now? No? So sabi ko, we just presented you the data. No? So nakaka-relate ba kayo sa ganyan? It's really up to you kung anong gusto niyo gawin. But we recommend it. No? We strongly believe that such a written plan is important. Okay? Therefore, it should be further developed as a guide for management to ensure continuity and organizational survival. Okay? And we believe as well that succession planning cannot be dealt with successfully vacancy by vacancy. Hindi pwedeng forever, ganun na lang yung gagawin ng library. No? Tsaka lang tayo magpaplano pag may magre-retire na at may magre-resign na or nag-retire na at nag-resign na. Dapat, meron na tayong planning. Sino na yung susunod, ganyan, meron ka na naakay na iba. Ang succession planning ba internal? Mostly internal. Kasi nga you are developing talents within. No? Pero kung wala ka talagang ma-develop, di yun talaga, hahanap ka sa labas. Okay? So we propose trainings, workshops for library managers in developing a succession plan. This, in fact, has already been done by Patel, sir. Remember, 3-4 years ago, nag-offer na ang Philippine Association of Teachers of Library Science ng workshop on succession plan. So I think doon din na-pick up ng iba yun. No? Kasi yung iba, you'll be surprised, ma'am, hindi namin alam kung paano gumawa ng succession plan. No? Pero naiintindihan nila yung konsepto. Pero paano ba gumawa nun? No? Okay, so I think that's all. No, thank you so much. Pinresent ko lang yung findings ng aming study. If you have questions, puntahan niyo na lang ako. No, you can easily ask me questions. So sana namin natutunan kayo. Maraming salamat. Yay. Tanong na kayo. Sir Riggs.
Sususugan ko lang yung sinabi ni Ma'am Ray. All of it is actually true. Kasi I spent a year and a half sa HRD. And actually, all of that is true. Pero may isang may dadagdag lang ako, yung one of the biggest problems, particularly sa gobyerno, I think, hindi sila makapag-implement ng succession plan kasi ang Civil Service Commission may merit selection plan, which opens the door for anyone kahit na outside. So, yun yung nagiging problema. Kaya, para sinasabi nila, kahit naman mag-develop kami ng tao gusto namin sumunod sa amin, kung yung open din lang ng gobyerno sa labas, hindi mo makakakuha. Merong mas ma-qualified at may disqualified sa labas.
Yun nga, kasama kasi dun sa succession planning is developing the talent within. So, kung meron kang develop talent inside, di ba, yung internal candidate na yon can compete with other external candidates because you very well develop that person. I mean, that's the whole idea of it. So, kahit na, kumbaga, may chance siya of competing to other external candidates. No? You will hear a lot of, like, horror stories. No? Ako, nag-aaral ako ng 3 taon, ganyan, no? Preparing for this position, but that position was not given to me. No? So, maraming mga ganon, and I think, kahit papano, although your career is your responsibility as an individual, I think the organization should also help you, no? Nakikita ko kasi, kunyari, no? Nakikita ko si Mark, talagang nagpapakabigo, gusto niya tumaas sa posisyon, tulungan ko siya. Diba? I-train ko siya. Okay, Greg, you're raising your hand.
Actually,
Okay, Sir Igor.
wala sa data kasi kung private or public.
Hindi na namin tinanong. Basta academic library lang yung
May difference ba yung aside from this
medyo based on observation lang, may mas succession plan na private. Yes, MG.
Sa respondents, mostly ba sa metropolitan areas ba?
Halo-halo. Meron sumagot na Mindanao, pero metropolitan area. Medyo kung Pilipino siya, although nakasentro sa NCR talaga yun.
Kasi ma'am, parang I would imagine ko na
Yes.
Inassume ko na ganun nga yung majority kasi they prefer internal.
Yes.
Kasi I would think po na sa mga provincial, sa mga academic libraries.
Sa probinsya, yes.
I would think po na siguro they would prefer external
Yes.
passage. Kasi po parang, di ba, unang-una, ang quality ng
That's a good observation, MJ. No? In fact, pwede natin i-update itong study na ito. If you will look at our methodology, which just disseminated the survey for 3 weeks, mabilis lang yun. No? Yung iba namin data, yung iba namin survey, buwan-buwan talaga namin nilalabas. No? Pero medyo na madali itong study nito. But then, it's a good, I think pretty well got a good grasp of the succession planning practices here in NCR, more or less. Kasi when we presented this in the Fly Congress, hindi na naman NCR librarians yun. Doon maraming taga-probinsya. And they also resonate with the findings of the study. So, para sa mga talagang nangyayari. Yes, Nix.
Kung ang succession planning po ay dapat ay internal, kung naman tingin po ba, mas kakaunti yung mga fresh LIS graduate na mapupunta sa bigla sa managerial position or administrative position? And sa tingin niyo po ba, mas makakabuti yun para sa mga fresh graduate?
Ako, I always believe in the capability of our graduates. No? So I think you have a very good fighting, Hindi yun. You can compete very well. No, you can compete very well. But then, mix naman, most of our librarians as well, marami din naman dyan UP graduates. No? So it's just, hindi naman. Kasi UP graduates will start with entry-level positions, probably. No? But for some, very rare naman din yung cases, although may cases na mag-occupy ka na talaga ng higher level position, lalo na kung sa probinsya ka mapupunta. No? So kung sa tunong mo, masama ba yun? Hindi. No? Kasi it's also a challenge for us to train you more. No? And to develop you more as LIS graduate. No? Dapat, we have to provide you with the tools, the skills, no? Para makapag-compete kayo outside. Dan!
Na-mention na natin, hindi kayo may cultural and social aspect din yung pagkawala ng succession planning sa Pilipinas. So for example, I don't think it's normal for Filipinos to act as if wala na yung tao. Mag-prepare ka na. Parang, for example, nasa hospital pa lang yung tao, bibisita ka na ng center.
Tapos meron ka lang barong.
Barong ka na. So parang feeling naman, culturally, hindi siya natural sa atin. Socially, kapag na-pinpoint, for example, kunyari ma'am, succession planning ng SLIS, kunyari mag-pay sa team. Kunyari lang. Actually, yun yung second question ko eh. Anyway, kunyari ma'am, sa succession plan ng SLIS, na-pinpoint na kayo yung susunod na team. What if gusto rin yung Sir Mark pala mo yung So, because kayo yun na-identify na susunod, nagiging target nyo yung taong yun, na chismis, backstabbing, para lang may
Totoo yan, no? Totoo yan. Dan, I agree. May cultural, social factors. Pero hindi namin kasi tinignan sa study yun. Pero maaari, no? Maaari. Kasi culturally, hindi naman tayo masanay na dyan po si boss, maghahanap ka nila.
Kaya nga wala yun. Kaya nagkaroon ng merit selection plan. Para kung sino talaga mas qualified.
Yun yung
Ayaw nila, parang check and balance sa gobyerno. Na ayaw nila yung may bata-bata.
Pero sir, kasi kung merit ang pag-uusapan, skills yun eh.
Kasi pag na-train mo na maayos.
Pag na-train mo na maayos, kayang mag-compete ng internal candidates. No? So, kaninong fault yun na hindi mo train eh. Although sabihin mo, kasalanan ng tao, hindi siya nagpapakabigo.
Magandang case study dyan. Library schools. Wala lahat na.
Pwede na kayo mag-thesis. Medyo susugan niyo yung study. Yes, MJ, meron ka tanong.
Ma'am, parang kasdali natin, sa mga social factors. Ewan ko lang, nakapansin ko sa mga Filipinos kasi parang yung extended, yung bahala na.
Bahala na.
Parang tayo kasi parang yung act on the fly. Napakaling problem natin. Pag dumating yung problema, doon lang tayo mag-react. So, baka-factor in why
True. I agree. No? Hindi na namin tinignan yung factor na yan. Pero nakikita din naman kasi namin na nagkukos na rin siya ng problem sa iba. And in fact, yung mga ganitong problema, may divide na in the organization, no? Sometimes. Because there is a position na inaay ng mga internal candidate, pero hindi nila mag-grab. Kasi nga, ano yun, walang qualified. Hindi naman kami inasikaso ng organization, no? They didn't train us. So, I think we need to respond. No? Lalo na ngayon na although lumabas sa study na bata yung mga sumagot, naniniwala pa rin kami na marami na rin mga librarians na matanda na sa mga probinsya. And in fact, in other libraries as well. Yan, may tanong pa? Okay, so, yes, and what's your name? Ha? Hi, Dash.
You say like some institutions have preserving admins.
Succession, yes.
Planning, some don't. You asked if there was a reason why these actually have that. Like why, like, did they experience that burner and was removed and then they had to find a replacement and that was the time they wrote everything?
Okay, probably, we can assume that, but we didn't ask that in the study, kasi. We can only assume that probably that's why they did that, because they have prior experience. Pero we didn't ask that in the study. So, hindi ko masasabi for sure na yan yung reason for that. Probably in the future, we can add that sa study. Okay, other questions? Cultural aspects, great, tama. Okay? No more? Okay na? I can go? Okay, sige. Okay, with that, thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Rhea. Ayan, I hope na natutunan na kasi sinabi ni Ma'am Rhea. Oo. At bago siya tuluyang magpaalam,
Succession plan.
okay, hayaan muna ako na ibigay ang certificate natin na completed. Speaker. The School of Library and Information Studies presents this certificate of appreciation to Professor Rhea Apolinario for her selfless effort as resource speaker for the faculty of the 2017 SLI lecture series. Given this 23rd day of March, the SLI is rebuilding UP Diliman Quezon. Signed, yours truly, chair of the 2017 SLI lecture series, and the